This Easter season, we have an unprecedented chance to connect with our community like never before. This Palm Sunday and Easter, Woodlands is launching 2 services, one at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Over the next 5 weeks, we're going to be providing you with inspiring videos to empower you to share the love of Christ with those around you. Here's video number 4. Zacchaeus' Oikos found Jesus. A reminder of what an oikos is. An oikos is those 8 to 15 people that God has placed uniquely in your life for you to share your story of God's glory with. Yeah, I'm talking about that Zacchaeus. As Jesus was walking that way, the way through Zacchaeus' town, the streets were lined with people, all wanting to catch a view of Jesus. Zacchaeus too wanted to see Jesus, but there was just one problem. He was a short man. So he climbed up a tree. Sure enough, Zacchaeus caught a glimpse of Jesus, but something even better happened. Jesus caught a glimpse of Zacchaeus. "Come down from there, Zacchaeus, for I'm going to your house tonight," Jesus said. That night, Jesus dined with Zacchaeus and his entire household. And at some point later in that evening, Zacchaeus had his come to Jesus moment. He said, "Look, Lord, here and now, I'm going to give away half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have stolen anything from anyone, I will pay it back fourfold." It's an awesome story of transformation, one that we certainly celebrate. But something even greater happened that night. Jesus said, "Today, salvation has come to this house." Much has been made over this saying over the years, and a little bit of confusion too. But what if the explanation is really simple? Zacchaeus' oikos, the people in his house that night who had a front row seat to what Jesus was doing in his life, witnessed the life and heart transformation that came to him, and they wanted the same thing. Isn't that the most likely thing that happened? Well, of course it is. Jesus changed Zacchaeus' life that day. The others watched firsthand how a rich man repented and changed, and they wanted the same thing. They wanted life transformation in Jesus. See, here's the thing. Way too often we make evangelism too complicated. We think we need to leave it to the professionals, or we think that's not for us. We'll leave it up to some guys like Billy Graham or Greg Laurie to share the gospel. Yet what we get to see through the story of Zacchaeus is that every believer, even the newest believer, is equipped and ready for the task to be world changers. Zacchaeus had spent only a handful of hours with Jesus. He'd only just repented and given his life to Jesus when the power of his personal testimony moved the hearts of those in his home that evening. As we learned last week, we all have an oikos, like Zacchaeus had one, a unique and God-given group of 8 to 15 people that God has supernaturally placed in our lives. And those people have a front row seat to our lives and our stories, just like the household of Zacchaeus. And they're waiting to hear and see that powerful story of transformation. And you have it. Yes, you have an oikos, and you have a story to share with those who have a front row seat to your story. They're waiting to hear about what changed your life. They're waiting to hear about the real you, and they even want to know about what changed you. Now is the time to embrace this. So who will hear your story this week? Hey, you can do this. You know how I know you can do this? Because Zacchaeus could do it after only knowing Jesus a few hours. Hey, get out there. Tell your story. Share of who you were, how Jesus got a hold of your life, and how he changed your life. And sit back and watch God at work.